We see here signs of a burn. Okay? And these signs penetrate the whole tissue. Okay? We see here signs of what all else? Water. And they are, as the signs of the fire, proportional. So proving that in a time or during a period, this piece of cloth was folded. And that we know by the history, it was the tetradiplon. So folded in 4. And that's why, if in Chambéry, the famous fire, who produced these things, when we lost this part of the arms, if the body is folded in 4, and with the fire something becomes liquid and falls down on the shroud, penetrates everything, so produces the effect in every fold that the piece has, no? Well, so second thing that we see is the signs of water. But we have also, and the water for sure penetrates the whole tissue, no? But we have also signs of blood. And the blood also penetrates the whole tissue. But the most important thing is that we have the image of a man, the front and the back. But contrary to the other 3 penetrating the whole tissue, this image is absolutely superficial, just in the surface. It doesn't go back of the tissue. It doesn't penetrate. And besides that, it has a lot of qualities, spectacular qualities, no? Three-dimensionality and many other things that we will see. So, but this is important when you begin to explain what is the shroud. What do we see in the shroud? Well, 4 different signs. For sure, the most important is the image of a man who was flagellated. We have the signs, who was crucified, had something on the head, and also was perforated here by a pierce or something. And you are supposed to begin to use the scientific data little by little, and this bleisure.
Martin?
Sorry. Just this one. The Storm team in the year 78 did ultraviolet photos of this. If you look at the ultraviolet, it's amazing, because you can clearly see the separation between the serum and the blood. And physically and scientifically, it is the blood of a dead man. Because when you are dead, to every one of us happens the same thing, the separation of in the blood of the serum, and it's exactly what the Gospel will say, and came out a mixture of water and blood. So he's already dead. What the gospel says, the soldier looking at him, since he was already dead, in order to be sure, just pierce with a pierce, does this. The scientific analysis can prove that this is not a painter. Impossible! Do you know that this separation was discovered until the 19th century? Leonardo da Vinci was so smart to codify the message for the man of the 20th century to discover it? Yes. Come on. It behaves like a photo, negative and positive, but inverse. It's the only picture in the world with this behavior. So actually, when you look at the Turing, you are looking to the negative. That's why if you do a photo and you make the revelation, I don't know how do you say in English?
Replicated, or I mean duplicated?
No, but before you did, before the digital, you were obliged to do in a dark room.
Yeah,
Developing.
Okay. You have the negative, but on the contrary, what Secondo Pia got was the positive, and it was amazing for him. Imagine, Phil, it was like a miracle for him.
Yeah.
He took a picture, he went to his lab, domestic lab. Oh my goodness, what is it? It's the only picture that we know in the whole history of the world with this characteristic. Then the three-dimensionality. So every picture, every photo, you don't have in anyone the three-dimensionality. Thanks to the a machine called BP-8 that the NASA uses, not just for the space, but also for the medicine. If you take that document, they can measure the volume of a tumor or something not going well in your organism. They can measure the dimensions, etc. So they put a photo of Secondo Pia and of Henriette, and came out the three-dimensionality. Amazing. Another thing, you can look at it better. The more you approach, the less you see. You have to look at it from 6 yards. It's the perfect vision. And if it is supposed to be a paint, really that paint was a full man or a full woman. You know? Going on. Yes, but it's the only way to produce that. So it's crazy to think that this is a painting. And that was the first scientific observation of the storm team. After half an hour of their arrival, they were absolutely sure that they were not in front of a painting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, they didn't find any chemical because in every painting you have the components of the
Pigments and
Father, pardon my ignorance, but what composed the cloth?
linen, just linen, and that would be also the main argument of Ray Rogers to prove that carbon-14 although it was done in a good way, but the piece of linen they took was already not authentic. All this area was exactly, imagine this with a measurement of 4 meters. In order to show to a congregation, we have to hold it by hand, another. And actually there are pictures of the 14th century, of the 16th century, 17th century, showing bishops
Handling
the shroud and showing it to the people and holding like this. You understand why, with the time, this became completely bad
Frayed.
and had to be re-elaborated. And that's what they call French weaving. Perfect work done by nuns, or we don't know who. But this piece, and the gospel says, was linen. Absolutely has to be, because according to the Jews, there cannot be a mixture. Linen and cotton, no way. Just one. So,
Sorry.
what?
In this time there is no cotton in Israel.
In the?
In this time.
No cotton.
Yes?
No cotton in Israel.
Okay. But in the year 2000, Sue Marino and her husband came out with this theory. And Ray Rogers, who was one of the scientists of the SCORE team, he said, well, they are lunatics. For sure, carbon-14 was done well. But Barry Shorts was talking with him, and he said, no, Barry, they are lunatics. I can, in 5 minutes, prove that they are wrong. And Barry told him, well, if you can do it in 5 minutes, do it. And he got angry. He went to his lab, and he called him back. My goodness, they are right. There is cotton there. So, proving that actually sometime it was repaired with the technique of French reweaving, and they added cotton, and they added also a kind of glue, a kind of glue to make the eye not be able to recognize the difference, you know.
Blend it together. Yeah.
So it appeared as the original, you know. So conclusion: the carbon-14 was all right, but is not representative of the shroud. And the stupid guys said, if they have analyzed the pictures with it in 1978, they would know that this was the worst area of the shroud. So not to take a piece from there. There is it's a beam. It's completely deteriorated, that area. So it's not representative of the shroud. Well, okay. For sure, there is a scientific document now done by a group of Italians called The Night of the Shroud. It was produced last year, and they present hidden documents showing that back of that there was a trauma against the shroud from some groups and some institutions behind.
Father, do you remember the time when the radiocarbon dating was about to be done? There was a protocol in place to pull samples from different places.
Yeah.
And that what actually happened was that was all pulled from one place and then it was split into 3 subsamples and
Yes.
sent off. And it was
Yeah.
a violation of the most important
Exactly.
protocol ever
No,
done
no,
in
and
human
this,
history. Why?
this film shows, and it will come out to the market very soon. The English translation is already done.
Yeah.
It shows that they have violated all of the rules of the carbon-14.
Yeah, and no one brought that up in the main secular media. It was never brought up. It was just running the currents of the forums and everyone
Yes, yes.
arguing.
No. The only thing we know is that picture of three of them and of the London School of Economics, the English lab, etc., saying it's a fake.
Yeah.
One, 1390, the date, with exclamation mark. So, believers, it's a fake. You were wrong. We are now the science. Completely a manipulation of the thing. Okay, but anyway, when you talk, don't be ironic. Don't be ironic, because if I am no believer and I am not in front of a scientist, we don't have the right to do irony on the thing. And my position will be, go away, I don't accept you. So, even when you are talking about the carbon-14 and that there is evidences that although it's okay, but it's not representative of the thing, so you have to be very, very quiet, just explain the facts in a clear way.
Objective,
And-
yeah, right. Just clear objective.
Okay, so we were talking about the characteristics of the image. You can see the uniformity of the image. There is no difference between the image in the head and the image in the foot, the image at the middle. It's the same. It's amazing. Also, there is no directionality. In every painting, if you approach, you see how the painter did the painting. No? In the Shroud, no. It's a radiation or something. It's something going up and going down in a moment, and it's just that. And still is what the Pope John Paul II has called, how do you say in English? Es un reto a la inteligencia.
More like
A challenge to
intelligence, yeah.
A challenge to the intelligence,
Yeah.
no? And up to now, we cannot understand. And I also mentioned in the homily the other day, there is a group of scientists in Italy, in Albano, and they were trying to reproduce the image of the Shroud. And after 5 years of investigations, they arrived to reproduce the same type of image that we find in the Shroud in 1 square centimeter, just in 1 square centimeter. But in order to do that, they needed 35,000 billion watts of laser ultraviolet beam. 35,000 billion watts. By the way, now there is no machine on Earth capable of producing that. Secondly, it has to be in less than a blink of eye. Otherwise, you destroy the cloth. So there is no machine capable up to now to do that. Second, it has to be in a millesima, how do you say?
The most tiniest.
Tiny moment. And I asked the guy, the chief guy of this team, well, you have done it 1 square centimeter, but how can you do and reproduce the whole image of the shroud? Oh, we will need 10,000 laser beams at the same moment in the perfect positions, pushing at the same time, just at the blink of time to produce it. So impossible, up to now. So the shroud keeps being a challenge to the human intelligence. Okay, another. The image has been formed before the body gets the composition. I mean, how do you say?
Decomposition, yeah,
the-
decomposing.
The composing.
Yeah.
This is a physical process. After X hours, the mouth begins to expel ammoniac, and there is no sign in the shroud of any ammoniac at all, because it will be deteriorated, this zone of the face. The impression shows clean, absolutely clean.